What happened?
Stop acting like you didn't hear what happened.
I don't hear anything. What happened?
One girl died this morning now.
What?
A copper, Miss PJ, was sent into a small community by the government just to serve within the period of 1 year. She was able to disclose a serial killer within a short period of time. Hey beautiful loves, welcome back to my channel. Just in case it's your first time hearing this beautiful voice, my name is Janelle. I do movie reviews and recommendations right on this channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for standing by. Okay, I prefer sitting down to review movies and recommend movies, but I have been pretty occupied for quite some time now, and I love doing movie reviews, so I've got to put some videos out, okay? So you guys are going to bear with me before I come back fully. Yes, let's talk about Miss PJ today. Miss PJ was directed by James Abinibi, an amazing movie producer with a crew: Bimbo Ademoye, Ibrahim Chata, Shola Shobowale, Charles Okocha, Chris Ihewa, and others. The runtime of this movie is about 1 hour and 55 minutes, although I still think they rushed the end of this movie, but yes, let's continue. It was an amazing one. You can find this movie on Prime. Now, Miss PJ, Miss Patience, comes into this community school and met an amazing principal. Now, as soon as she got to the Corper's lodge where she was given, she saw that someone died and she was in shock. Like, the way this girl died, when I saw that scene, I knew there was going to be trouble for the coppers in that community. Now, we've heard a lot of stories about coppers and small communities, but this is different. I don't know if this is a real-time story, a real-life story, but I sincerely hope it isn't. Now, these children goes to the bush at night when their parents are sleeping, and then meet with someone who, takes advantage of them and then gives the blood to a babalao. Now, the face of this man wasn't shown to us, but the baba's face was being shown, right? And it was so shocking that they showed us a face of BC's father, and I was even thinking, okay, he was the villain here. And this man was so protective of his child, BC, to the point that wherever he sees her with a man, he wants to come out roaring like a lion. Now, Corper PJ moved about, asking these children to come back to school. They were not even talking about why they were not coming back to school. It could be the case of the death, among the students, but most of them did not want to go back to school because they wanted to work. In fact, that was the excuse they were given, that they wanted to work, Now, Miss PJ, the story Miss PJ was being told by Funke, who escaped all of this problem. As soon as Miss PJ was able to get some students back to school, she, in fact, introduced skill acquisition in school to the principal, and some of the teachers were not having it. In fact, she was being talked about, gossiped about in school by, teachers, and it was just like she was doing something bad. The male copper, on the other hand, was hunting girls to take advantage of, BC was one of his targets. In fact, he was going out with Funke and then he still wanted to have a taste of BC. Now, teacher PJ warned him after BC's father had warned him. In fact, now I saw BC's father as the man who was taking advantage of those girls, and that was why he was overprotective of his own child. In fact, he didn't have a wife anymore. His wife had died and he had only BC living with him. He didn't want to get married again. After just a very short time, another tragedy happened. A student in Miss PJ's class died, and it became a problem for her. She was traumatized not until BC, her closest student, passed. She had always warned this male lecturer. The way this movie was, they tried to put different people at different times for you to suspect. In fact, I was a little bit suspicious of the male Corper doing those atrocities. Now, after BC got a phone and told her father that Miss PJ got that phone for her, told Miss PJ that her father got the phone for her, so it made investigation quite difficult when they were trying to get who did this to BC. BC died through the same means that other girls were dying. In fact, at the beginning of the movie, I had thought that BC was going to be the end of these people, but then a plot twist. Now, BC's dad was so much in pain that he was moving around the community, laying curses. In fact, he gave an ultimatum. He said 7 days. He's given the person who did this to his daughter 7 days to leave, And then, because of all of these incantations he was doing, he wasn't even having a rest. This man got attacked in the bush. Guess who? Guess who did this? The very kind, playful, amazing principal's husband. In fact, I was watching this movie with a friend and I told her clearly that the principal might not be aware of what the husband was doing. This was not even where he was caught. This is where the director of this movie decided to expose to the viewers who is doing all of these atrocities. Now, Corper PJ still continued going to school. In fact, it was really a problem to continue talking to these students, but she had to. She had gone to tell Funke to come back to school, but the day Funke was supposed to come back to school, she didn't go. She lied to her mom that she was going for lessons. I'm like, no, you guys do not do lessons. So, since Miss PJ did not see Funke in school, she went back after school to meet Funke, and Funke's mom told her she had just stepped out for their lesson. And she did as if, okay, everything was okay, and had to go look for Funke the direction she took, and saw one of her students who told her that he had just seen Funke go through the bush path. She went through that same path and saw the principal's husband trying to take advantage of this girl, Funke, and instead of her calling the police, she went to attack this guy, and the principal came out Guess the reason why they were doing all of this? Just for her husband to become a king of that community. It is so sad what people would do for position, for a small position as a king. What about the presidency? It's just so terrible. Now, thank goodness, the students who had shown Corper PJ where Funke had followed went to call the police, and that was how they were being saved from that whole mess. And the principal and her husband were arrested. And guess what? Funke, telling the story, had said Miss PJ stayed until she finished her service year in that same community. Ooh, my goodness, I would have run for my dear life after that whole situation. But anyway, that's the end of this movie. I would rate this movie a 9 over 10. A 9 over 10. It is an amazing watch. You guys go and see this movie on Prime and thank me later. Hope to see you in my next video. Bye for now.